Hello, and welcome back to the podcast where you are invited for lighthearted conversations about things that matter as you seek to live your most meaningful, beautiful, and joyful life. I'm your host, Dr. Edie Wadsworth, and I hope you enjoy your stay here at the House of Joy.
Hey guys, I'm popping in really quickly, I promise, just to tell you, this is the second part of a conversation my mom had with my sister Caiti. The first part was released last week, so if you haven't listened to that one, you're going to want to listen to that one before you get started into this. The first part flows very seamlessly into this episode, so if you haven't listened to that, go listen to that and then come back to this one so that you're not confused and so that you're not missing out on some gold from the first part. This one is so good too. I can't wait for you guys to hear it, but I'm going to stop yapping so you can actually get into it. All right, enjoy.
I was going to say this job required me to live at a higher level of standard for myself, because how can you talk to people about, hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to exercise 3 or 4 days a week. I'm going to go sit on the couch and eat Taco Bell every day.
I mean, to be honest, lots of people do it. But
that's true. That is true.
But I do see that it's been for you always something. Literally, every time I open your stories, I'm so inspired. I'm like, oh, Katie's going for a walk on the creeper trail. I should go for a walk.
Fight the depression away.
I bet now, because of the heaviness of what you do, like holding space for people's hardest days, hardest problems, I bet it's a lifeline.
Oh, it is.
For you.
There are days, so I am very blessed. I feel like I'm exactly where I need to be, but there are days where back to back people will be in severe distress or meds are not working. I mean, it's like almost every patient.
Yeah.
I have days like that, and I will leave and just, you leave from somewhere and you don't turn music on and you have pure
You're
silence.
literally almost catatonic.
I'm literally like driving home like,
what just happened?
What just happened to me? And usually, every now and then I go home and I veg.
Yep.
I full couch potato.
Well, sometimes you got to recharge.
That is still a coping mechanism I have. And I balance. I see nothing wrong with that in moderation. But sometimes I will go to
I fully did that this past weekend.
Sometimes it's necessary.
So sometimes it's necessary.
You need to be horizontal.
You do. Jessica Garvin was calling it rotting in her bed.
Yeah, bed rotting is like the Gen Z term. And it's true. Sometimes you need that. And I have to even be careful with my phone.
Okay.
Because then it's like I'm resting, but I have access to all the world's information and trauma there. So that doesn't really help either.
Yeah.
But I will go to the gym or I will go walk outside and I'm like, okay, life is still beautiful. Jesus is still here with me.
Yep.
I'm okay. Because I will feel myself pull a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like I said, once you've been there mentally, as many people
know, ruts
you can get back in.
And so you have to actively practice
the
mindset you want to have, the emotional resilience you want to have.
It's a practice.
It's a daily practice.
I completely
Maybe
agree.
hourly.
No, I completely agree. It is a practice, and I have to be hard on my alibis of like, okay, I've been really regimented. I work out no matter what. I heavy weightlift 3 days a week.
Nice.
Like, and some people would be like, oh, 3 days a week, that's no big deal. But for me, I'm giving as much as I can in those sessions.
Yeah.
And I do steps. I try to walk. I definitely walk more than I used to, but I'm still working on that. Like, I'm still a work in progress. Let me also just say, we talked about that a little bit. Like, I still have more goals to reach, but as far as this job has asked of me to live at a higher standard. And I'm very thankful for that.
So good.
Because it is a daily reminder of like,
well, you see you're seeing what happens when you don't, right?
Yeah.
You're seeing what happens when you don't take good care of yourself and make yourself a priority and take care of your mental health and your emotional health and even your physical health.
And putting yourself on the back burner.
Yes.
That is something, especially in women.
Yes.
Especially, I treat probably 80.
We're kind of caretakers.
Yeah. I don't know. I need to look at my statistics, but I probably treat like 85% women.
Yeah.
And almost all, and I treat adults. I don't treat children. So my youngest, I think, is 14 maybe, but mostly it's 18 and older. And it's like, if you don't make yourself, which is, I know is so much easier said than done, but if you don't make yourself a priority, then you will always put yourself to the side.
Yeah.
If you don't make time for movement, if you don't make time to meal prep a little bit, it doesn't have to be every meal, but if you don't make time to do that, you will reap what you sow.
Yeah.
And you are important enough to
prioritize
take
that.
Some extra time and
And
figure
we
out
were
how to
just
make it
talking
work.
about, you were talking about a podcast that you had listened to with Andrew Humerman on metabolic flexibility. And, you know, it's something that I've been really living into the last 10 years.
You're like the queen.
I'm like the queen
Of metabolic flexibility.
metabolic health. Or, well, actually,
Health,
I'm not the queen of it. I realized that it was something that I have the MTHFR gene, and I just realized, like,
I didn't know that.
yeah, I'm going to have a tendency to have insulin resistance.
Yeah.
I need to learn how to take good care of my body. I need to learn how my metabolism works. I need to move well, lift weights, eat protein, eat whole foods. And I think that I don't think we give enough credit to how much those things affect mood, because I noticed when I started getting my blood sugar in better order, my hormones in better order, it's so much easier to do all the mindset work because you don't have those constant crashes and ups and downs from blood sugar all day that affect people's moods. That really, you know, it's a big part of.
It's also energy is everything.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel good, why would you care to improve your quality of life?
Right.
You're just trying to get through the next day.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get to the next event you maybe have on the horizon.
Yeah.
And I think about that with my patients is like, I can see that sometimes is like they're on 15 different medications. They are exhausted.
Yep.
We're trying to figure out how to improve their mood, how to lessen their anxiety, but there are so many moving parts, and there's a lot more information. That is one of the podcasts that I have listened to and will listen to again because there was so much good information. But I think depression is a metabolic process.
Yeah.
I think anxiety is a metabolic process.
Yeah.
I mean, the building blocks of neurotransmitters are amino acids, which a lot comes from our diet.
Yeah.
So if you're protein deficient, if you are not eating
you don't
healthy
have the
fats,
building blocks
and then on
for
top
those
of it,
proteins, right?
You're eating inflammatory foods. You're constantly, eating tons of processed sugar. I mean, it's very hard for your body to take those raw materials and then create, an optimal
and the
environment.
other thing that's come out in the last few years is a lot of those neurotransmitters are made in the gut. And if you have really poor gut health, then...
Which almost everybody does.
Which most everybody does, because we get that from processed food and sedentary lifestyle and all the toxins, that we're exposed to. So, if you have poor gut health and you're not getting these good nutrients that you need, your body literally can't make what it needs to feel good.
Yeah. I am not a nutritionist. Also, I drink Diet Coke like every day. So let me just admit that really fast that there's a meme that I shared also a while back that was like, 2 of my favorite hobbies are improving my gut microbiome and destroying my gut microbiome. And that's me. So again, I tell my patients, I'm like, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I don't do this. Okay, I'm working too.
I'm working on
I'm a
this
work
too.
in progress too. Okay, I'm in the trenches with you. Okay,
I know how hard this is to give up. And I do remember, and I do drink an occasional Diet Coke, but I remember when I gave up my Diet Coke, because I used to drink like whatever 2-3 a day, and I remember mine was Diet Pepsi, and then it was Diet Coke. Go ahead, check that box. But also, I do remember. It felt impossible.
Yeah.
I remember that feeling. Mm-hmm. And I do have a lot of compassion, but I also know that on the other side of some of that, it's like every now and then Stevie and I will both say, because we both used to drink it a lot, and now neither one of us drink it daily, and we have it occasionally if we're out or whatever. But it's so funny because when one of us will take the first sip of a Diet Coke after like a month, we're like, wow, no wonder we were addicted to that. It's so good.
A crispy, ice cold Diet Coke. See, that's the problem, is it cures my depression instantly. I get a hit of dopamine, and I forget that I'm prone to sad things. But yes, I I actually did. That's like a funny segue into me doing carnivore last year. Do you remember?
Oh, I can't even believe you did it. I couldn't do it.
I have to talk about this because
talk about it.
It was at graduation for the coaching.
Okay.
Remember I came up to your room and I think Katie was there, Emmy was there, and I was talking about it. I had lost like almost 10 pounds
in literally 2 weeks or something.
It was 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay.
I cut out, so all at once, I cut out everything. So carnivore is meat based. You can have some dairy, but it's pretty much meat.
Yeah.
No caffeine, no Diet Coke. I decided to do this on a Wednesday.
For like 2 months or something, or 3 months.
6 weeks.
6
like
weeks?
pretty strictly 6 weeks. But I decided to do this on a Wednesday, midweek of my
I love how she's
mental health
I decided
week.
on a Wednesday.
I wake up and I'm like, I'm doing it. We're doing this.
But you've always been like this. You have such willpower sometimes.
Sometimes. She burns out quick.
She burns hot.
Yeah, she burns hot and burns out quick. Well, so this day one I did great, like, because you don't feel it yet. I started to detox from caffeine like within probably a couple hours.
Don't even tell me, because listen, if I haven't had my caffeine in the morning, I'm like, I think I'm getting the flu. Oh wait, no, I just haven't had my coffee.
Yeah. No, the second day, my nurse Rachel is incredible, and she's very like, she belongs in mental health because she's like checking in on you, making sure
that you're good.
You're doing good too. Well, it's like near the end of the day, Thursday. She shuts my door slightly.
She's like, "Are you okay?"
She sits down and she goes, "Katie, are you okay?" I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I'm fine." She was like, "You just seem like you're like a little off or something." And I was like,
"It's the Diet
I'm
Coke."
fine. She was like, "I'm going to be honest, you seem grouchy." Like straight up mean is what she was saying in like the nicest way possible. And I was like, all right, so I haven't had a Diet Coke in over 24 hours. I've not had carbs in 2 days. I'm detoxing. Like I'm full on detoxing. And, yeah, it changed my life in that moment in a way of mentally. Again, I think there's times we need to go like all or nothing, especially if we struggle with food, if we struggle with addictive things. I think it's good to like say, hey, I'm going to strip everything away and we're going to do this for 30 days.
This out. Right.
And we're going to just like figure it out and prove to ourselves that we can do hard things. So I had proven to myself, like, I can obviously live without Diet Coke.
Yeah.
I can live without carbs. I don't think you need to do that long term. To each their own on their diet.
No, I did keto for...
You did it for
4 months the first time, and then 2 or 3 months the second time. And it doesn't... Yeah, I lost a lot of weight. I had a lot of energy, but it didn't agree with my overall system.
Yeah.
It messed with my thyroid. I had a hard time GI-wise, and I had never struggled GI with my gut health stuff. So, yeah, it doesn't agree with me long term.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think sometimes just shaking it up, doing some kind of elimination diet. I went off dairy for like 4 months. That was actually really good. I learned that I actually can have some dairy and be fine. I just can't be eating like dairy every 2 hours a day, you know? So, but that's really cool. I think too, the thing that I love to think about and help my clients see, and I don't know if you do this kind of work at all with your patients, is that you're always reinforcing an identity with the choices that you make. And what you said earlier, I loved about raising your standards.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was really earnestly working on my health, working on becoming the person who is strong, resilient, fit, can do anything she wants.
Yeah.
Because the health isn't a barrier. And it also reminds me, because we were just talking about some family members that have had lately that have had stuff going on. And this quote that's like, if you don't have your health, it's the only thing you can think about.
Yeah.
If you have your health, you can think about everything else.
Yeah.
And
it's like I know what you're talking about. If you're sick, you have all kinds of things on your mind.
On your mind.
But if you're sick, you have one thing on your mind. Yeah.
And I like thinking about it I mean, because that could be one way where it's almost like out of a little bit of fear, you start to make changes, you start to get healthier, you start to work on that.
Yeah.
But I also like the aspirational aspect, because I think we were just talking about our grandbabies and how much we love our boys and our Junie girl. And I want to be able, when I'm spending the day with those boys, I want to be able to climb up on the jungle gym with him. I want to be able to go down the slide. I want to be able to sit in a squat so Noe can sit on my knees and, you know, do the thing he's doing. I want to be able to sit in the floor and be able to get up okay. So I think about the person that I want to be and how can the choices that I'm making every day help me live into that. And I feel like after 10 years of really practicing it, it comes natural to me now, but it hasn't always. And I think that it just, for all of us, it's a work in progress, and we have to be compassionate for where we are, but also keep holding ourselves to a standard of like, what is it that I really want here? And am I willing to sacrifice for it, work for it?
Yeah.
I mean, I talked on our last episode about most of the things you want require you to be uncomfortable.
Right.
You know? But if you're willing to experience some discomfort for a little while and discipline yourself in a certain way, I think it just pays off dividends in what you're able to do and how you're able to live your life in the way you really want.
For sure. I mean, you've been a huge inspiration to me the last, this journey you've done. I think it almost timestamps a little bit with like the essential oils.
Yeah, it does.
Of you starting to think differently about medicine and about health and like not relying on our healthcare system to fix you.
Yes.
Because
Taking
I think
your own agency.
I'm very much in the middle. Like, I believe in lots of holistic practices. I also believe in medicine. I believe that some incredible things
have definitely swung
come from
the other way, where I'm like, I don't ever want to take a medicine again. And I've kind of come a little bit back to center. I think obviously sometimes we need them, but I do think that when you're wanting to build a really healthy life, that is something that you have to build and create as much as you can. It's not necessarily something that someone gives you.
Right.
You know?
Well, in that podcast, it's still on my mind because it was so good. But the doctor he had brought on, Stanford trained, like incredible background as far as just education and everything. And the way she speaks about metabolic health and about how to really create agency for yourself is through food. She's like, you have to think of yourself as a process, not a thing. Like as a person, everything you intake, everything you expose yourself to, especially in our world now, when you think about the concepts of like epigenetics, you know, how it incredible
turns on genes or turns them off.
Yes, that inflammatory process, you are creating your reality within your own cells.
Yes.
Like your cells reproduce and over time completely regenerate.
Yes.
And
what are you feeding them?
What are you feeding that regeneration? And she's basically just saying like, yes, there are limitations to what people have access to, financials. You know, there are so many barriers, but I think if you get caught up in that, you don't want to even start, right? Yeah. It's like, this goes back to the ADHD thing of perfectionism. I had to overcome my mindset of perfectionism because the reason I started and stopped so many times was because I felt like I didn't do it perfectly. And if I can't do the diet perfectly, if I can't follow the exercise regimen perfectly, then I can't do it. Yeah. And it's that thought of like, I'm a failure. And I see that in patients all the time is like, well, I said I was going to do this. I said I was going to do that. And then I didn't.
But then I didn't.
So I just gave up. And I'm like, it's the same concept. And I've heard this so many times now, but it's like you're putting on your makeup and you're putting on your mascara and you get some like on your cheek. And instead of wiping it off, you wipe mascara all over your face.
All over your face.
It's the same concept. It's like, why are you giving up because you made a mistake?
Right.
Fail forward.
Yes.
Like learn how to fail forward and not hold yourself to some type of, it's like that balance of compassion and challenge. That's what I do with patients a lot, I think.
I also too, like I probably, in my swinging so far to, like, I want to be as healthy as I can, almost taking a lot of pride in it, but not in the best way. I remember a couple of years ago when I got surfer sinusitis from wake surfing, and I got a really nasty bug. I got Pseudomonas in my sinuses. I ended up getting a bronchitis. I was getting Rocephin shots every week and steroid shots. It was terrible. And I kind of, it made me realize that, like, we can make that, it's sort of that perfection. We can make that an idol.
Yeah. And
I don't want to make it an idol for the sake of saying I'm so fit and healthy. I just want to be able to be there for my family. I want to say yes to going snow skiing. I want to say yes to wake surfing. I want to say yes to crawling on the floor with Noah.
Yeah.
It's like the way that it serves my life instead of just for the sake of being a certain size or being fit.
Even to get there mentally, you have to have perspective.
Yes.
And that's what happens in mental health crises. And unless you're in it and you study it and you understand it and you have compassion to understand it, you don't realize that when you're in the depths of depression, when you're in the depths of an anxiety disorder, your perspective is so small.
Yes.
You are trying to make it minute by minute sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's where my compassion comes in, because when I start to get frustrated and I'm just like, come on, you can do this.
You can do this.
I think back to who I was in my weakest moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the Lord met me with compassion.
Yes.
Crying out day in, day out, exhausted from my own brain.
Yes. But exhausted nonetheless.
And he met me there every single time. And he didn't say, oh, you messed up again. You failed again. You're done. It was every time I came back, there was compassion. And that's what I think we need in mental health is we need compassionate providers, compassionate therapists, compassionate parents.
Yes.
To challenge us, yes, but also to understand sometimes you can only see so far. And you need people to speak life into you and to speak truth into you that I know this is so painful, but you're capable.
I wonder if you see it this way, because what I've noticed for myself is that, like, for instance, all the years that I struggled with my childhood, with my past, with my dad, when I finally was able to let that go, to really process what I had been through and let it go, it was gone. Like, I really never took it back on. And I think if people knew that like, yes, the disciplines of life that give you true health and resilience and all of that, is a daily practice. But I think a lot of times what I have experienced is that those big transformation moments came like that and changed something. Like you said, like it just changed for me.
Yeah.
When I realized this. And I think telling people that, like, so just so that it, like, to me, that's so hopeful.
Yeah.
It's like God can collapse time and can heal something that took you 40 years to build up, and he can just take it from you. And so I think it's both. It's both this sort of instantaneous, you don't have to look at it and go, oh, this is going to take me 20 years to get over.
Well, it's even this concept of like, so what?
Yeah.
So what if it takes you 30 years?
Yeah.
So what if it takes you 60 years?
Yeah.
Maybe that's your journey.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't get healing the way that you would hope for.
Yes.
Maybe it doesn't look the way that you think that it should, but why does that mean you need to give up?
Right.
Wouldn't that be like the best way for the devil to win?
Yeah.
Is that you stay stuck. One of the concepts that's helped me be really consistent with exercise specifically, because exercise takes energy.
Yeah.
You have to like get up, change,
go do the thing,
go around strangers, and be in an environment that sometimes is so overstimulating after you've been overstimulated all day. And I have learned that I can just be in this moment and not have to make it mean anything. I don't need to feel a certain way to take action.
Yes.
All I need to do is take the next right step. And I think it's the same way of mental health is like, I know you don't feel good. I know you don't think this is working.
Yeah.
But
just
I
take
need
this
you to,
one tiny
I need you
action.
to take this next step and just believe that someday it's probably going to get better, because thankfully our bodies and minds do like to respond a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, what better way to spend your time anyways than believing for the best and hoping for the best and pursuing better health practices and maybe getting back into church or joining a community group or joining a social group, pickleball.
Or joining my next workshop, my fall workshop,
or pickleball,
everyone.
not pickleball.
Or go play pickleball. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why do you have to believe that it's time for you to give up?
Yeah.
just because you're not in the place you wanted to be in life, or things haven't turned out the way that you thought that they should, why does that mean you need to give up?
Yeah.
And I think people do give up mentally. I see it all the time. And that's a very hard place to get people out of. Yeah. And it's not really my job to get them out.
Right.
But it's more so to show them that it's possible.
It's possible.
And I think you do that all the time in your coaching.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think so too. As we wrap up, one of the things that I think of too, because we talked about food and movement, and one of the things that you are so good at is that in all of these seasons that we've just talked about, that you've been through, I think this is something that I learned to be good at too. I learned it from my daddy, so I hope you learned it from me, is that there's always something to laugh about, have fun about. You've always had that side of you that could come back to the lighthearted side, laughing together, having fun together. Like when we were at Emmy's bachelorette party, being around you girls, I laughed so hard. Y'all are
so much
fun and so funny. And I think, making sure that you keep finding reasons to do that, whether it's go listen to a comedian. Sometimes I'll do that. If I'm like in a recharge bed rotting weekend, I love putting on like a stand-up comedian or Leanne Morgan, or
you got to have a good giggle.
Nate Bargatze. Yes.
And I believe you're so good wholeheartedly in giggling.
Oh, me too.
I fully believe in giggling because
get me started on some full-on belly laughs, and I like it. It's the best. And I think you've been really good at doing that. I mean, there's lots of different ways that I think we can build this really good sleep and, breathing practices and journaling practices. But I think that the main thing is what we kind of talked about at the first, to just be hopeful that new seasons are ahead. There's better days ahead.
Yeah.
Hope comes in the morning. Like that.
And learning how to sit in the distress.
Yeah.
So there's concepts I use all the time with DBT.
Yeah.
Where it's like
explain
radical
that for the pod.
Dialectical behavioral therapy.
Okay.
So CBT is really popular, cognitive behavioral therapy. Yeah. DBT is a little different. It's indicated for different types. I mean, there's an indication for bipolar disorder, for BPD, which is a personality disorder.
Yeah.
More heavier diagnoses, but I think concepts are so applicable to everyone. One is radical acceptance, which I use a lot.
I love
in my own
acceptance.
Life.
Me too.
Is like, this can be true. This can also be true. I can learn to sit in this distress and know that I am going to be able to figure it out.
Yep.
Like,
because we say to ourselves, this shouldn't be happening, which causes a lot more suffering.
Maybe it shouldn't,
But deciding, no, this is happening.
Yeah.
And I can be right here.
I can be here. I can figure this out. I will make it.
Yeah.
And truly learning to believe that about whatever season you're in.
Yeah.
Because someday your suffering might be what helps other people see the light.
Yes.
And I think that I have a whole list of notes in my phone where I'll just write, like I'll just jot thoughts. And there was one that I had jotted down a few months into that job where I was essentially saying, I'm really learning how important it is to learn to sit in distress.
Yeah.
And like handle it.
Stay calm in the storm.
And just let emotions come up. Your coaching helped a lot with that. Let emotions come up and just let them be. And I think that's a skill that so many people need to learn, is just learning to emotionally regulate yourself.
Yes.
But it's definitely been a process. I'm 33, almost 33, and it's like I'm just now coming into my own. I feel like mentally, of like, back to our metabolic talk, I gained almost 50 pounds in nursing school and just out of nursing school.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
And
the stress, and just that was my coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting that weight off.
Yeah.
Like I still have 10 pounds of that to lose, of that original weight.
Yeah.
And here I am almost 10 years later. Yes. And I could look at that and I could say, oh my gosh,
it's taking so long.
That's taking forever. Like, that is a failure in some ways. And it's like, I refuse to believe that. I believe I needed maybe that way of coping to get through that time period.
Yep.
And my body thought that we were in
fight or flight and
severe distress. We were mentally, but I look back at that time and I'm like, I look at myself at that time and I'm like, you were just like trying to survive, trying to figure it out.
Hard. Yes.
You were going through, I think, spiritual issues too, of like being attacked in some ways maybe. And that is what you needed to do at the time. And you're learning to unravel that damage that I did to myself.
Yeah.
But I don't have to look at that as like with a defeated attitude of like, I can't believe I spent my whole entire 20s 40 to 50 pounds overweight. I mean, I should have never weighed that. I should have never been in that place because it also fueled my mental issues too.
Yeah.
But I can look back and say like, I did the best I could with what I knew at the time.
Yep.
And I don't have regrets for the way my life has panned out. And all I can do is take what's happened to me, what's happened to you, what's happened to me. Like all we can do is build off of the experiences we've had and just commit to learning better and doing better as we go along.
Yes.
And it's like, that is a very different mindset than like, well, I was overweight for that long, so it's not worth it to pull it off.
Right.
I already had
I'll
kids.
just always be this
I already
way.
had kids, so there's no use in trying to pursue my best body yet or my best mindset yet. And it's like,
why not?
Why not? Y'all, we are here for tops 80 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 90 years.
Go for it with all your heart.
Some people with a lot less. And I have that, also have that. I think that's why I'm prone to depression is I have like this existential crisis at hand in my mind all the time where I'm like, guys, we're not here for very long.
Let's go.
There's not a lot of time. And it's like, I don't want to have regret. And I want to live my life fully open.
Yes.
With my heart open wide. And I want to help people while I'm here. And that in turn, having that passion has helped me pursue a better life for myself.
For yourself too.
Yeah.
And the two don't have to be mutually exclusive. You know, you can have a big impact on others and do a lot of serving, but you really do have to prioritize and take care of yourself. Get as strong and resilient as you can because weightlift.
You need muscle. Do not just go on a diet because you think you need to lose weight. You need muscle. Women need muscle. I will die on that hill.
I gave a talk this summer at the Young Living Convention, and I was talking about the importance of muscle as the tissue of longevity. And I'm like, girls, thunder thighs are back. So it makes me happy because they're so in. I am so proud of my muscular thighs.
I grew up at peak low-rise jean
season
era. We're back in it. I'm not going there, but it is true. I think thankfully our society is become much more like health conscious in a way. We're also like the sickest we've ever been, but I think there's a certain amount of people that are
really health
all
conscious,
this information. You have Huberman podcasts, like you have scientific information, quality information at your hand. Some people are using that to their advantage, and it's like, do it, learn, figure out what works for you. But yeah, I grew up in a period of time where all that was important was being skinny.
Yeah.
And that messed with me too. And so I refuse to go back to that mindset. It's more like, I just want to
Make me strong.
I want to pursue a really lovely heavy deadlift. I want to be able to pick someone up and throw them if I needed to in an emergency situation.
If I needed to.
Like, to each their own, but muscle is magic.
Muscle
for sure.
is for sure magic. Well, we have so enjoyed having you on the pod, Caiti. This has been so fun. Isn't she the loveliest, everybody?
I haven't even looked at the camera at all. I'm sorry.
So hi, everyone.
I don't know what camera podcast etiquette is.
There's a lot of cameras in here.
There is. I'm like, okay. We've been chatting.
I was telling Caiti at the first of our janky setup, and she goes, "What? This is crazy in here." I'm like, I know. We
legit.
have literally amazing equipment, and Emmy is wearing Xbox headset. So
it's working.
We do need to invest in some headphones. All right, everybody. Well, we are so grateful when you listen to House of Joy. Share this podcast with a friend, a neighbor, someone you love. We're so thankful when you share. We're so thankful for you for listening. If you haven't yet signed up for our Design Your Life, Live Your Purpose, Leave Your Legacy workshop, All the stuff we talked about today is about living a life of creation, designing your life, living it on purpose, using the agency that God has given you to create something truly extraordinary in your life. Okay. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.